Warning to all new nurses and soon to be new grad nurses. Please beware of these things. What's up, you guys, and welcome back. For those of you who are already part of the family, for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Kiara, and this is my channel, Nursing with Ki, where I mainly make nursing-related videos, just sharing some tips and some tricks that I've learned along my journey to ensure that you guys have the smoothest nursing journey. But we also do a little bit of hair and beauty from time to time, so if you are into things like that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you won't miss another video from me again. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I am a new grad pending licensed nurse. I worked as a CNA for 2 years while I was in nursing school and recently graduated from LPN or RPN, depending on where you come from. I'm from Canada, so sometimes we call LPNs registered practical nurses, but I recently graduated from that program about 3.5 months ago, and I've been working as a pending licensed nurse ever since. So in this video, I just wanted to talk to all of my soon-to-be new grad nurses, or for those of you who are already new grad nurses but have not managed to land a job yet. But I just wanted to warn you guys about some things that I see a lot, or that I have seen a lot since I've graduated. And these things can really get you in trouble. And the last thing you want as a new grad nurse is to get fired or get something bad on your record, especially even before getting your license if you're working pending license like me. Or, to kind of just bust your back and your brain through nursing school, whether it's for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and it doesn't matter how long your program was, but basically to go through the torture of nursing school. Okay, I don't want to make it seem so bad, but the challenges of nursing school, and then, finally graduate, finally get your license, start working, and then lose your license over something extremely stupid. So guys, please beware of these things. All right, so the first thing I really want you guys to be careful of, and I've seen this so many times, but do not break your professional boundaries with patients or with patient families that you think are like really cool and whatever, especially if you live in a residence. I know that in a residence you see family members a lot, right? In acute care, they come and they go. It's different. They come, they get better, and they go home and you don't really see them again. But especially in residences, please be careful. I know that some people, you get used to kind of seeing the same faces over and over again, and they might approach you and they might seem like they're so nice and they're so understanding. And so I've seen this. I have literally seen nurses break their professional boundaries, and they kind of forget that it's, a professional and patient family type of relationship. And they just go on as though these people are their best friends. And I'm not saying don't be kind to people, but I've heard nurses talking down about doctors to families and and patients. I've seen nurses talking, literally like talking down about other nurses to families. There was this one situation where the day shift nurse, it was almost change of shift. And me and this nurse who did the day shift, we're kind of waiting for change of shift. And the nurse who was coming in, I guess the day shift nurse like really didn't like her. And she was talking so much crap about this nurse and her skills and how she wasn't a good nurse and she never knows what she's doing and the mistakes that she's made. And she's telling this patient's family these things. So obviously they got concerned and they got a little bit scared, because if somebody is caring for your family member or for your loved one, you want that person to be up to par. You want them to be good at what they do and to know what they're doing. And so out of fear, this family member went to the head nurse and requested that another nurse take care of her family or her loved one, because so-and-so nurse told her that this nurse wasn't good. And this nurse actually got in a lot of trouble for that, because you just shouldn't be doing that. You should not be talking down about any nurse, any doctor. Basically, just do not get too comfortable with these patients' families. Even though they are nice, you can be nice, but please remember that they are the patient or the patient's family, and that you are the professional, and you have to remain professional. Another thing that I want to say about patient families, and I'm going to tell you guys another little story time, okay? There was a family member who came to the nursing office, and the way the facility that I work at, well, one of the facilities that I work at, but that specific one is most of the people in that facility are fully independent. The floor where the nursing station is a locked unit for people who are a little bit more advanced in their stages of dementia, and they really need supervision because they're at risk of, you know, trying to get away and stuff like that. So it's a locked unit, and those people are a lot more dependent. However, it's a huge facility. There is 8 floors, and on all the other floors, these people are fully independent. They have their own kitchen, their own bedroom, their own living room. These people are paying rent. It is an apartment, but they're paying a little bit more because they have access to medical attention at all times, because there is nursing staff there 24 hours. So they pay a little bit more for that. But some of them take their medications independently. We don't even have their MAR sheets. They go to the doctor, they, you know, get their prescription, they go to pharmacy, they get their stuff. They're living on their own. But there are some people that we give medication to on those independent floors because they're a little bit more forgetful. So there was this one patient's family daughter who came to see me, and she said that, you know, her and her mother had an appointment at so-and-so hospital, and the doctor prescribed a certain antibiotic for her mother because her mother had whatever, and she wanted the nursing staff to go and give this medication. So if you guys haven't seen the pill organizers, it's basically this kind of box. If I could find one, I'll put a picture up here. It's a box, and basically there's the days of the week, and you can organize your pills. Like, so all the pills that you have to take every day, you put them in the pill organizer. And she put the pills in the organizer for her mother. But she, you know that when you take a prescription to the pharmacy, they usually keep the prescription. They don't give it back. So she wanted the nursing staff to start giving her mother these pills. But I have no prescription. I have no, you know, it might look like an antibiotic. You're telling me it's an antibiotic, and I know it looks like an antibiotic, but I cannot give something if I do not 100% know what it is that I'm giving. I had no prescription, no pharmacy paper, no anything. She just had these things in this pill organizer, and she wanted me to give it to her mother. And I'm so sorry, like, I just couldn't do that. So I told her, look, mind you, she came to see me. I was doing evening shift, and she came to see me at 11 o'clock at night. And when she was about to go home, and I explained to her, I cannot, like, either way, it's too late for me to start this, like, dose. Usually, if we're going to give antibiotics, if they have to get it twice a day, it'll be in the morning, 8 o'clock, and at night, 8 p.m. or 7 a.m., 7 p.m. But it's too late for me to give her anything anyway, and I cannot give something that I don't have a prescription for. So if, you know, your mother does have so-and-so and so, then the day shift nurse can call the hospital, get the information, ask them to fax over the prescription, and then we can fax it to our pharmacy and have that medication brought to us directly, and then we can add it to the MAR and start giving that medication. We can't just give whatever you tell us to give. So I told her that, and she completely misconstrued what I said. And the next day, not the next day, that was a Saturday night, and I didn't work at that facility until the following Saturday. During the week, I get a call from the director of nursing asking me, you know, exactly what happened and, you know, whatever. And so I explained to her that I could not give this medication because of XYZ reason, which she understood. And I'm gonna continue this story, but I'm gonna bring you guys to my next point. And my next point is chart everything. Like, chart. I know that a lot of these residences, especially in acute care, people are a little bit more strict with their charting because people's conditions are, like, always changing. And in residences, yes, some, like, people's conditions can change, but a lot of the times they are stable. Their condition is just the same all the time. Nothing ever really happens. And so in residences, a lot of people chart by exception. However, nurses tend to think that just saying something in report is enough. No. Literally, what protected me that time was the fact that I charted. That is what protected me. When I had this conversation with the person's daughter, you know, she came to me and she seemed like she was a really, really nice person. But like I said, these people aren't in the medical field, and sometimes they don't understand how things work, and they can completely misconstrue with the things that you say. And so the only way you can protect yourself is through charting. Yes, it is management's job to protect you, but it is your job first to protect yourself. And so I charted exactly what happened in the ladies chart. And there's also a nursing communication book. So whenever anything happens during the shift, we write it in the nursing communication book. That's usually what we like say our report off of. But it's there for nurses to see if ever they forget some type of information so that they could see what your report was at change of shift. So I wrote it in the nursing report book. I wrote it in the patient's chart. I sent it to the day nurse, and I also left a little sticky note on the nurse's computer so that she can remember to contact the hospital, because I couldn't do it. It was 11:30 at night, 11:30 at night. I couldn't call the hospital. Like, I just wasn't going to call the hospital or call the doctor, wake the doctor up for, an antibiotic. I didn't think it was urgent. And like I said, the antibiotic couldn't even be given until the morning anyway. So I didn't think it was necessary for me to call the doctor. So I did that. And that is literally what saved me. So please do not neglect your charting. Chart. That is your protection. Chart. It is your protection, and do not trust these families too much. Even if they come to you seeming all nice, like I said, sometimes they just don't understand how things work. And when things aren't done the way they expect it to be done, they get mad when you're actually just doing what you're supposed to do. The next one is huge. It's huge. And I don't really see this in acute care a lot. I feel like in acute care, they're a little bit more strict when it comes to this. But in residences, people are not counting their damn narcotics. Count your narcotics. You know how many times I come in, like, let's say if my shift starts at 3:30, I'll be there around 3:10, 3:15, just so that I can count my narcotics, get my report, read the chart, see what happened, and kind of, fill my mind up with all the necessary information I need so that my shift can go smoothly and so that I can know what is going on and what I have to do. And there's so many times I come in, 3:10, my shift is supposed to end. My shift is really supposed to start at 3:30, but I come there at 3:10 to get ready, and I'm just like, okay, ready to start to count the narcotics. And the day shift nurse will be like, oh yeah, I counted the narcotics. Everything is good, because they want to rush to go catch their bus. No, like, I'm so sorry. We're going to count these narcotics. And on top of that, it's not even like a lot of people at my facility get narcotics, maybe 10 people. I've been counting my whole entire life, so counting is not new to me. And if, according to you counted the narcotics and everything is good, then it shouldn't take us that long, should it? It should take us about 2-3 minutes, right? I have the book open. Okay, it says 19. Does this person have 19 meds? Yes, they have 19. And usually it's labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you look, and you see, what's the last pill? Okay, it's at number 19. Everything else is empty. The book says 19. Cool, we can carry on. We've been counting our whole lives. Counting and numbers is not something that is new to us, okay? Like, it's not. So it shouldn't take us that long if you claim that it's okay. But I see people do that, and people just trust each other too much. But what happens is, if you are trusting this person so much and they're taking one oxy every single time, like every single time they know you're coming and they know that you never really count the meds with them, and they're taking one oxy, it falls under your name. Management finds something fishy with the narcotics and they see that, there's like, these numbers don't add up. It falls on your name. And now people are accusing you of stealing drugs that you're not even stealing because you were careless. Protect yourself. Count your narcotics, please. It takes no more than 5 to 10 minutes to count narcotics, depending on where you work. No more than 5 to 10 minutes. Count your narcotics. Don't neglect your license, man. Oh my God. I literally think I would go on suicide watch if, like, I lost my license. I would lose my mind. I would just lose my mind. I put in way too much work to get where I am, to just let it go because of laziness. Another thing is, checking on your patients at night. And it is so funny because there was actually a situation where a nurse was not checking on her patients at night. And then the morning nurse comes in, goes to check her patients, and she sees a lady completely blue, gasping for air to the point where she couldn't even speak. And it's because, and like, Lord knows how long that lady was there with difficulty breathing, but the night nurse was not doing her rounds. She was not checking on your patients. And it takes nothing. It takes nothing to, just go in with your flashlight, check, okay, are they breathing? Do they look okay? and walk out. You don't have to wake them up and, hey, are you okay? No, just look and see, are they breathing? Do they look okay? Okay, cool. And you walk out. That's all it takes. But the night nurse was not doing that. And so the morning nurse caught a patient with damn near almost dead because the night nurse wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. And the night nurse got crap for it. Like, she got crap for it. I haven't even seen her since then. So but guys, if you're doing night shift, just peep. Just go in, open the door, peep. You don't have to wake the person up. You don't have to engage in no type of conversation at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't want to be bothered. I know I don't want to be bothered at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm sleeping. But just check and see if they're breathing. Check and see if they're okay. And the last thing I'm going to say, guys, is if you are not sure, ask. And if you're not sure, don't do it. If you are not sure of how to do a procedure, then ask. Call the head nurse. Ask another nurse if they can help you do this thing. If there's no one else around, for example, at the facility that I work at, at one of the facilities that I work at, it's one nurse per shift. So there's no one else for me to really ask except for the head nurse, who's only there in the day and part of the evening. But if I'm working night shift, she's not there. So if I'm not sure of something, like, don't do it. Just don't do it. And even if I'm not sure and the day nurse and the head nurse isn't there, I'll call her up and I'll be like, hey, I'm so sorry to disturb you, but I need your opinion on this and this and this. And then she'll tell me, okay, call the doctor. And then I'll call the doctor. She'll say, okay, you know what? I'm not really too sure either. So the safest bet would be to send them to the hospital. If you're working in a hospital, you're not one nurse per shift. Like, there's definitely another nurse there with you. There's somebody else in the building that you can ask. But in a residence, it's a little bit different. So if there's no one else there for you to ask, call and ask for a second opinion. And depending on what the head nurse says, depending on what the doctor says, send them to the hospital if you're not sure. It's better to send them to the hospital so that, they can get all the tests and the stuff that they need to get done so that we could be 100% sure of their condition, as opposed to being lazy and keeping them there. And then next thing you know, something happens and that falls on whose name again? Yours. Because who was the nurse? You were. So yeah, it basically just boils down to this. Protect your license. Don't be careless. Chart. Ask. If you're not sure, ask. If something happens, chart it. Get a second opinion if you don't know. Just do not be careless, guys. We worked too hard to get through nursing school. Too hard to get to where we are now, to throw it all away because of carelessness. Do not be careless. Protect your license. If you love nursing, if you want to keep your license, do what you need to do to keep your license. Anyways, guys, I know that I definitely forgot some stuff. I couldn't think of everything and I didn't want to make this video too long. But if you guys want to add anything, come on, let's educate each other so that we're not out here just throwing our license out in the trash. Leave anything that I forgot down in the comments. If you guys want to add anything, feel free to do that. And I really hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, turn on your notification bell so you won't miss another video from me again. And I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.